Hello everyone, and welcome back to Old Charles today. We're diving deep into the fascinating world of British coinage. As we explore the United Kingdom one-penny coin from 1979, we'll talk about its history, design, condition, and of course, its value today for collectors and investors. So, stay tuned until the end, because you might be holding one of these coins right now without realizing its true worth. Let's start with the history. The 1979 one-penny coin is part of the decimal coinage system introduced in the UK in 1971. Before that, Britain used the old pounds, shillings, and pence system, which had been in place for centuries. But in 1971, the UK transitioned to a simpler decimal system, where £1 was equal to 100 new pence. The 1p coin was introduced as part of this major monetary change. By 1979, decimalization had already settled in, and the penny was a common everyday coin used for small purchases. The obverse, or front side, of the coin features the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Arnold Machin. This portrait was used on British coins from 1968 until 1984. In it, the Queen is wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, a famous piece of jewelry gifted to her in 1947. That on the reverse side, we see the crown portcullis with chains, an emblem often associated with the British Parliament. This design, created by Christopher Ironside, symbolizes tradition and governance. The word new penny appears above the design on coins from 1971 to 1981. After 1982, the inscription was changed to simply 1 penny. So, if you have a 1979 penny, it will read new penny, making it a part of that early decimal series. In 1979, millions of 1 penny coins were produced by the Royal Mint. This means the coin is not considered rare in terms of mintage. However, what makes it collectible today is the condition and historical context. As part of the early decimal series, the coin was struck in bronze, made up of 97% copper, 2.5% zinc, and 0.5% tin. It weighs 3.56 grams and has a diameter of 20.3 millimeters. Now, let's talk about the value, because so many were produced. A 1979 one-penny coin in circulated condition *** is usually worth its face value, which is just 1 penny in the UK. For most people, that means it still functions as small change, but for collectors, condition matters a lot. Here's a breakdown. Usually worth 1p to 10p, essentially face value, or just slightly more. These can fetch between £1 to £3. These may reach £5 to £10 or more, depending on demand and preservation. The real collectible value lies in error coins. If a 1979 penny has a minting error, like a misstrike, off-center strike, or double lettering, it could be worth much more. Some error pennies have sold for tens of pounds to specialized collectors. The condition of your 1979 penny is crucial. Collectors use a grading scale to determine value. The coin shows heavy circulation, scratches, and wear. These coins are common and hold little collector value. Some details are still visible, moderate wear but better quality. May sell slightly above face value. Most design details are sharp, with only light wear. Coins in this grade are more collectible than no signs of circulation. Retains original mint luster. These are the most desirable, specially struck with a mirror-like finish for collectors, often found in Royal Mint sets. So, if your 1979 penny looks shiny, crisp, and well-kept, it's definitely worth more to collectors. To sum it up, the United Kingdom one penny from 1979 is a coin rich in history, being part of the early years of decimalization in Britain. While it's not rare in circulation, its value can increase significantly depending on condition and rarity of errors. For most collectors, it's not about the monetary value, but the historical connection. A small bronze coin that marked a big change in Britain's currency system. So, check your change or your old coin jars. Who knows? You might just have a brilliant example of the 1979 one-penny coin waiting to be appreciated. We're going to take a deep dive into the United Kingdom one-penny coin from 1979. This tiny coin may look ordinary, but it actually carries a fascinating history, from the great currency change in Britain to its role in everyday life for decades. We'll explore its historical background, design details, condition grading, and of course its value today. Now let's begin with the history. The British penny has one of the longest-running traditions in world coinage history. Its story goes back over 1,200 years. first introduced under King Offa of Mercia in the late 8th century. For centuries, the penny was the backbone of English money that be by the time of the Victorian era. The penny had become iconic. It was a large copper coin, heavy in the pocket, but trusted by the people. Later, in 1860, it was reduced in size and struck in bronze. These bronze pennies, featuring Queen Victoria, then Edward VII, George V, and George VI, circulated well into the 20th century. However, by the 1960s, Britain's old system of pounds, shillings, and pence had become outdated and confusing, especially as international trade grew. The old system worked like this: 1 pound equals 20 shillings, 1 shilling equals 12 pence. This meant that 1 pound was equal to 240 old pennies. It was complex, especially compared to decimal systems in Europe and beyond. So after years of planning, Britain decided to make the bold move to decimalization that in 1971, on what became known as Decimal Day, February 15, 1971, the country officially switched over to the new decimal system. The old pennies and shillings disappeared, and a new set of coins was born. Among them was the new 1 penny coin. That the 1979 1 penny belongs to this first generation of decimal pennies, carrying the words "new penny" on the reverse. This was done to distinguish it from the old pre-decimal pennies, still familiar to people in the 1970s. Later, in 1982, the wording was simplified to just 1 penny. The design of a coin is also steeped in tradition. On the obverse or front side, we see Queen Elizabeth II. But this was not her first portrait. This was the Arnold Machin portrait, introduced in 1968 and used until 1984. In this design, the young queen is shown wearing the famous Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, a wedding gift she received in 1947. This portrait reflected a youthful and graceful monarch in the early decades of her reign. That on the reverse, the design is by Christopher Ironside, one of the most important British coin designers of the 20th century. It features the crown portcullis with chains, a symbol that goes back to the reign of King Henry VII and has long been associated with the Palace of Westminster and the Houses of Parliament. It represents government, tradition, and the strength of the British state. The 1979 penny also reflects Britain during a time of change. The country had just gone through the turbulent 1970s with economic struggles, strikes, and political shifts. Yet coins like the penny were part of everyday life, used for buying sweets, newspapers, bus fares, and countless small transactions. It was a working man's coin, always present in people's pockets and tills. And it wasn't just used in Britain. For many years, British coins were accepted in some of the UK's overseas territories and influenced the designs of other Commonwealth nations. That's why the 1979 penny also has a global connection. It represents Britain's economic reach at the time that when we hold a 1979 penny, we're not just holding a small bronze coin. We're holding a piece of British monetary history that stretches from medieval England through the Empire and into the modern decimal AG. Conclusion. The 1979 United Kingdom 1 penny is not just small change. It is a window into British history. From the centuries-old story of the penny to the radical change of decimalization, this coin marks an important chapter in the evolution of money. Check your coin collections or old jars at home. You may just have a shining piece of Britain's past in your hands. We're exploring the United Kingdom 1 penny coin from 1979 ***. We'll cover its history, value, and especially condition, because condition is the #1 factor that separates an ordinary coin from a valuable collectible. The 1979 penny was part of the early decimal coins introduced in 1971. It carried the words "new penny" and featured Queen Elizabeth II on the front and the portcullis design by Christopher Ironside on the back. Millions were minted, so the coin is common, but its condition makes all the difference in collectability. When it comes to coin collecting, condition, or grade, is the most important factor that influences value. 2 coins from 1979 may look the same at first glance, but one may be worth only a penny, while the other, if uncirculated, could be worth several pounds to collectors. Condition tells us how much a coin has circulated, how much where it has, and whether it has been well preserved. Most 1979 pennies are still only worth face value because they are common in circulated grades. But in top grades, they gain collector interest proof asterisk asterisk. Pound 5, Pound 10. Error coins in high grade asterisk asterisk can go for 20 pounds plus depending on rarity. So condition doesn't just affect looks, it directly impacts how much collectors will pay. Even though the coin is common, collectors often build date runs, collections of every year of the decimal penny. For those, they prefer the highest grade possible. This is why uncirculated and proof coins from 1979 are still sought after. Also, the words new penny were later changed to 1 penny in 1982, making the 1979 penny part of a limited design series, 1971 to 1981. Collectors who want complete sets especially value coins in better condition. So, while the United Kingdom 1 penny from 1979 may look like everyday change, its condition can turn it into a collectible worth several pounds. From heavily worn examples to brilliant uncirculated coins with original shine, condition is the deciding factor. If you have one, take a close look at its details, luster, and signs of wear. You may just have a small treasure in your collection. If you enjoyed this detailed breakdown of grading and condition, make sure to hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe to Old Charles for more coin history and value guides.